In our headlines tonight, Governor Obiano meets with traditional rulers and President General in the state ahead of the commencement of the third phase of Community Choose a Project initiative. Post-Primary School Service Commission declared serious stance against examination malpractice. President Buhari flags off commencement of all such in Bauchi State. And on the foreign scene, Russia joins U.S. to pull out from INF Treaty. A beautiful good evening to you. Glad to have you join us on the news tonight. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Governor Willie Obiano has made it clear that he is still a loyal member of the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA) and supports all candidates contesting under the party in the next month's general elections, as against the rumor making the rounds that he is supporting one of the other party's presidential candidates. The governor made this known during the one-day traditional rulers and President General meeting organized by the state government at the Professor Dora Akunyili Women's Development Center, Oka. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
Attracted traditional rulers and presidents general from across the state was an interactive section enlightening them on how best to play their roles as community leaders and custodians of culture and tradition. Governor Willie Obiano, while saying that he is still the national leader of the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA), stated that there is no way he will be supporting the All Progressive Congress APC presidential candidate when the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA), his own party, has its own presidential candidate. Governor Obiano was represented by the state chief of staff, Mr. Primus Odley, described APGA as a platform through which Ndi Igbo can surmount their political challenges and make life better for themselves, calling on the Anambra to give massive support to all APGA candidates in the forthcoming elections.
The governor's position is that at this point, that the APC have the presidential candidate, PDP have the presidential candidate, and APGA, which is his own party, and which, by the way, is the party of Ndi Igbo, have their own presidential candidate. And that we should have a very neutral, level playing ground for all these candidates, and that the will of the people should be allowed to count in the forthcoming election.
In her remarks, the special advisor to the governor on chieftaincy matters, Barrister Vera Okonkwo, commended the community heads on their efforts towards maintaining peace and order in their various communities of the state. Speaking, the traditional ruler of Ukulu community, Igwe Peter Oyangwa, and the President General, Anambra State Association of Town Unions, ASATU, Chief Alex Onukwe, said the Obiano government remains exceptional amidst all other governments the state had witnessed, owing to its project and people-oriented policies and interventions, assuring the unflinching support of the traditional rulers and ASATU to the administration.
Na government guy Anambra State, born on this year,
So Ohaneze should know that to do a thing like that as to what they did, proper consultations must be made. We are Ndi Igbo. At the end of the day, it is important that we get our acts together so that we do not wash our dirty linens in the public.
Projects executed by the various communities in the state under the 20 million naira Choose Your Project initiative scheme was during the event displayed on the screen for assessment by the community leaders. From the Professor Dora Akunyili Women's Development Center in Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The senator representing Anambra Central Senatorial District, Chief Victor Ume, has reassured his commitment to equitable representation of his constituents if re-elected during the forthcoming election. Chief Ume gave the assurance during his campaign rallies at some communities in Oka North and Oka South local government areas. Correspondent Emmanuel Chiwata, who was there for the ABS, reports that the towns visited were Mbaku, Okmono, Oka, Nise, Ezinato, Isiagu, and Amobia. His report.
Senator Ume, who expressed satisfaction on the massive turnout of supporters, including party officers, youths and stakeholders at the community, stressed that his constituency would see robust development in his second term and pledged to focus majorly on human capital development, scholarship awards to the less privileged, and creating job opportunities for youths. Senator Ume, however, listed some of his indelible achievements in just 1 year as a first-timer in the Red Chambers.
Munu ga na sino to n'ike woro ya do no aka so wo na eri wo mbosa ya aru ono onaro ese bozo wote mmadu amu to cha kita wo ke chire ni ne o ya ju ese aya me ko do ni ku maka o gwa nu na nando ya da na ga mi o na bara mo bi sima tinje unu zigamu o 1 year kan na ke Ivo jidimpa, bunawola nesidosi, ya toswe, wejenya. Imala kuko, iwenche, wako, egwana adijimanya.
In a remark, the member representing Oka South constituency at the State House of Assembly, Dr. Nnamdi Okafo, and the Transition Committee Chairman, Oka South Council Area, Mr. Liongoba, who commended the senator for his boldness and courageous leadership, assured him of 100% votes in the constituency. On their part, the national chairman of APUGA, Chief Victor Oye, principal secretary to the state government, Sir Willie Nwokoye, and head of service, Barrister Harry Odo, noted that the Anambra senatorial district will benefit immensely if they vote Senator Ume.
Senator Victor Ume, only 11 months in the Senate, we made the best senator award in Nigeria. I don't know if even in the way Lutuani, but I never managed to Nabuko. I got the name of one emerity. But when I election, I'm out the best community in the election to Anambra Central.
He has done exceedingly well. Of course, we are not surprised. We know his pedigree. We know where he's coming from. We were in school together. And at the risk of sounding immodest, that is the stuff of which our old boys are made. They distinguish themselves in all spheres, wherever you find them.
By birth and by blood. We join a ballot paper. Oceania will know yes, I'll cook here. You will name Kulaka. I want one cake. You will link to make a backup a disqualifier. You will link anyway. In protest.
The national president, APUGA Solidarity Movement, Mr. Bero Okafo, Ekoka Market Chairman, Ambassador Emeka Jude-Agomado, and an APUGA stakeholder, Chief Dan Ubuefi, applauded Chief Ume for his philanthropic activities and described him as a compassionate leader who derives joy in ameliorating the plight of the poor. The campaign tour climaxed with empowerment of over 38 petty traders, scholarship awards, and masquerade display. From Amobia in Oka South local government area, Emmanuel Shibata, ABS News.
Ndibo have been urged to forge united fronts on APGA as the political platform to rein fair bargain in the national affairs. The call was made by the Anambra Youth Forum during its extraordinary general meeting in Oka. The group also adopted the All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA as its party during the meeting. Queen Anibog has more on this.
The chairman on the occasion, Mr. Uche Ebebike, while recounting the numerous benefits Anambra people have enjoyed under the Obiano administration, appealed to the electorate to vote for all APUGA the forthcoming elections. In a prepared presentation, A patron and chairman board of trustees of the forum, Mr. Simeon Okafor, said youths aspiring for roles in governance should strive to get requisite education and be of good character in order to succeed, stressing that those who fail to get proper education cannot effectively contribute to national development. He said Igbo youths should be properly nurtured and groomed to take active part in the socio-economic and political affairs of the country to contribute to national building and project the Igbo agenda. In his remarks, a professor of physics, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Professor Gabe Anene, charged all to vote for Apuga, noting that charity begins at home. Others who spoke during the event include former President General of Agluizi Igbo, Chief Emeka Aneto, an official of the National Bureau of Statistics, Mr. Jane Nwasike, and Mr. Tabo Udezwe, among others. A communique which was signed by the chairman of the forum, Comrade Peter Ewenike, his secretary, Ms. Chidimma Umejesi, and legal advisor, Mr. Mechi Onwujekwe, also commended Governor Willie Obiano for his people-oriented governance in the state. Question and answer featured during the meeting. From King David Hotel, Awka, Queen Anibogu, ABS News.
Political party candidates and parties taking part in the forthcoming elections in Anambra State have pledged to abide by the dictates of peaceful and smooth polls. The consensus was reached at the stakeholders meeting and signing of peace accord organized by the State Command of the Nigeria Police Force in Amobia. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe attended the stakeholders meeting and reports.
In an address, the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Garba Omar, reassured the political parties taking part in the polls that the force will maintain absolute neutrality and professionalism in line with internationally acceptable standards, as well as provide a level playing ground for all political parties in the state. The CP said the command has initiated strategic action plans to ensure the success of the election, including training of officers and men of the command on election security and human rights, and warned that those who work against electoral guidelines will be sanctioned.
The command had initiated strategic action plan in accordance with the vision and mission of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Abubakar Adamu, MPM, MNI as follows. Training and capacity building of officers and men of the command on election security and respect for human rights.
The representative of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA, Mr. Emma Adibe, said the peace accord will deepen commitment to credibility and pledge that the party will honor every step of the process.
If only people can will understand that this is not a do or die affair. It's good to take, defeat or victory with the spirit of sportsmanship.
The state chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Chief Basil Ejidike, called for effective involvement of security agencies in electioneering, separation of polling units from accreditation centers to reduce electoral fraud, and giving equal coverage and recognition to all political parties, amongst other crucial points.
The turnout was okay. It shows the readiness of the Anambrarians to have a free, credible, and fair election. Of course, we've been doing that before.
The Anambra State Coordinator, Community Policing Project Development, Dr. Mas Nachi Ume, suggested the need for adequate security to curb thuggery and other illegal activities. The political parties present later signed the Election Peace Accord, attesting to their readiness for peaceful elections in Anambra State. From the State Police Headquarters, Amobia, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
The State Post-Primary School Service Commission, in collaboration with the Universal Basic Education Board, has organized orientation ceremonies for newly admitted students and transferred ones across the state. The event took place at the Father Joseph Memorial High School, Aguleri, in Anambra East local government area. Correspondent Theophilus Sukoha reports.
Keynote address, the Secretary, Post-Primary School Service Commission, Mrs. Josephine Honora, said the orientation program is aimed at driving home the educational vision of Governor Willie Obiano, who saw education as the foundation for the future. She cautioned students against indulging in academic or social misconduct, such as disobedience to school authorities, exam malpractice, absenteeism, truancy, among others.
Develop and sustain effective study habits and become students with positive values, all of which will be the foundation for the survival we all look forward to.
The Secretary of Anambra State Universal Basic Education Board, Mrs. Vivian Anyadubalo, said the theme for this year's program, Education Foundation for Survival, and the sub-themes, School Rules and Regulations, Effective Study Habits and Value Reorientation, were carefully chosen to ensure that the students were properly guided in their academic pursuit. In a goodwill message, the Director of Education Post-Primary School Service Commission, Otocha Zone, Mrs. Victoria Unebu, said the program was designed to equip both new and transferred students to be academically, mentally, and morally stable. The chairman on the occasion and Director of Media and Communication Southeast Governors Forum, Mr. Michael Oda, urged education managers to make education more functional, employment-oriented, and more result-oriented.
For starters, what do we mean by orientation, career, guidance, and counseling? How do these terms relate with and to education? What is education? The above terms are familiar. We appear to be conversant with them. Orientation comes from orientate, if you want to use a British style. Otherwise, orient can do.
Earlier in a welcome address, the manager and principal of Father Joseph Memorial High School, Aguleri, Reverend Father Anthony Okoye, charged the students to take their studies seriously. There were various cultural displays, drama presentation, and oath of allegiance by the students. Theophilus Okoha reporting for ABS News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has flagged off the official commencement of crude oil search in the Kolmani Well River 2, located near Barambu, Alkeri local government area of Bauchi State. President Buhari also declared that the federal government would intensify oil exploration efforts in all frontier basins, including Chad Basin, Gungla Basin, Anambra Basin, Sokoto Basin, Dahomey Basin, Bida Basin, and Benue Trail. The president said the exploration for crude oil was part of his administration's promise in terms of growing Nigeria's economy, adding that the government had worked hard to fulfill its promises. Russia has announced it is suspending participation in the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty 1 day after the U.S. declared it will pull out of the agreement unless Moscow complies with its terms within 180 days. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced the move today, according to the Kremlin's official website. Putin held a special meeting with Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu following Friday's decision by the U.S. to suspend compliance with the INF Treaty, a key pact with Russia that has been a centerpiece of European security since the Cold War. U.S. President Donald Trump and his senior officials had been signaling for months that they were ready to pull out of the INF Treaty, which the U.S. accuses Moscow of violating since 2014. Moscow has consistently rejected those accusations, while Putin emphasized that he did not want to start a new arms race. The Russian president also announced his support for a proposal to start construction of a new medium-range supersonic nuclear missile. Over 1,000 persons have participated in the 4th edition of the Anambra Work for Life brainchild of the State Sports Development Commission. This edition, which took place in the city of Onitsha, took off from the Zik roundabout Onitsha, drew stakeholders in the state, including House of Assembly members, commissioners, top government functionaries, among others. Correspondent GK Abana has the details.
The crowd took off from Zik's roundabout through Oka Road to DMGS roundabout and New Market Road. The team also went through Egerton Road, GRA, through Governor's Lodge, Onitsha, and terminated at Chuba Ibazu Stadium with aerobics. There were few refill points through the about 10-kilometer walk. Speaking, the chairman of the State Sports Development Commission, Chief Tony Oli, while appreciating Onitsha for coming out en masse for the exercise, said that having been duly approved by Governor Willie Obiano, the exercise is a means of encouraging Anambra to keep fit and healthy, adding that subsequent editions will take place in Oka, Newi, and so on.
We've done it very well, and we thank God for everything. No casualty. The road users were cooperative. The service agencies, they were doing very well, and I thank everybody.
For the member representing Onitsha North 2 constituency at the State Assembly, Mr. Edi Ibuzo, the exercise has numerous benefits and encouraged his constituents to embark on regular exercise.
I feel good right now and I feel healthy. You know, sports is life. We need to burn this carbohydrate so that we get our life back. So I'm so impressed. Kudos to His Excellency for making it wonderful.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, Chief Uche Nwora, said that ABS is a media partner and strong supporter of the Work for Life project, which he said has turned to be a tradition under the present administration.
No idea, which is why Anambra Broadcasting Service as a media organization is partnering with them. You can see we're all sweaty, we're all tired. And I want to commend on the people for turning up. It's a wonderful experience.
The Transition Committee Chairman for Onitsha South Council Area, Mr. Patrick Ayamba, lauded the governor for supporting the initiative. The exercise witnessed dance sessions and light refreshments. Also present were the Commissioner for Lands, Mr. Nnamdi Onukube, member representing Onitsha South 2 constituency, Mrs. Beverly Nkemdiche Bazo, ABGA candidate for Onitsha North and South Federal constituency, Mr. Patrick Obianwu, among others. From the Chuba Bazo Stadium, Onitsha, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like I said, www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Just before we go, a recap of the main points. Governor Biano has met with traditional rulers and presidents general in the state ahead of the commencement of the third phase of the Community Choose a Project initiative. Primary Schools, Post-Primary Schools Service Commission has declared serious stance against examination malpractice. President Buhari has flagged off commencement of oil search in Bauchi State. And on the foreign scene, Russia has joined U.S. to pull out from INF Treaty. And that's it on the news tonight. Thank you so very much for watching. My name is Maureen Stone Enijoke. Good night.
This is ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
Anyị bụ ezinụlọ ndị be nwoke afọ n'ụmụ atụlụ Awọbụ village Enugu Ukwu kansụl obodo njikọ ka na Anambra steeti ji obi mwute wee na-ekwupụta maka ọnwụ ntụmade nke nna anyị nwanne anyị nwoke nwanne nna anyị nwa nwanne anyị Chief Peter John Chukwudi nwoke afọ enyi Enugu Ukwu na Ụmụnri ọ nwụrụ ka ọ gbachara afọ 59 mmemme akwamozu Tọzdee abalị 7 nke ọnwa Febụwarị 2019 o jiri ọkara gata elekere 2 n'ehihie ozu ga-arapụ ebe a na-echekwa ozu na Regina Cheli Mortuary Ọka wee kwụsị na obi eze Enugu Ukwu na Igwe Ụmụnri His Majesty Saraf Obum na-eme ekpe bụ onye ga-anabata anya na ndị kabinet ya ọkụ elekere 3 a ga-anabata ya ma gụọlịa ụmụ ihe dịgasị iche iche bụ nke ndị ECDU ga-eme nakwa otu dị iche iche enwere n'Enugu Ukwu na Civic Center ọkụ elekere 5 a ga-achụ aja mas na mbarabe ya na ụmụ atụlụ Awọbụ village Enugu Ukwu Friday abalị 8 nke ọnwa Febụwarị 2019 mgbe ọ ga-akụ elekere 7 n'oge ụtụtụ ozi ga-akwụsịtụ na